This is Kate Baconsale. You're listening to Baconsale.
Once upon a time, in the summer of 2016, three men told tales of Tina Fey, the Beatles, and In-N-Out Burger.
So fresh.
And it was overrated.
Oh,
Yeah.
it kind of was.
The show itself or what we talked about?
I'll let you decide, listener.
Welcome to Baconsale. I'm Joel.
I'm Kent.
I'm Zach.
We'd like to thank you for listening to our last episode about tabletop games, board games, card games, whatever you want to call it.
Messy Twister, whatever.
Messy Twister. We had a good time talking about them, and we got some good feedback from people as well. A lot of people were offended by some of the things we said.
Were they?
Well,
Baconsale.
I said.
Well, I think people are giving you a hard time because you're opinionated. And whenever you're opinionated on a podcast, which is what you're supposed to do, they all of a sudden say that you're becoming more like me.
Well, here's the thing is I think I'm just becoming more hipster and you're becoming more mainstream.
Stop that right now.
So that's the way it is.
It's not what all my friends say.
Terry Finley on Twitter said, I'm proud to say I do not own a Scrabble game. Never have, never will. But I do have two different versions of Yahtzee, Monopoly, Life, and Clue. Please do a second round board game show. I highly recommend Ticket to Ride and Sequence. Also, a card game show would be awesome.
Okay.
Thank you, Terry.
I feel like Terry and I have very similar gaming tastes, so nice.
And then Mark the Pie Guy on Twitter said, you guys should check out Axis and Allies. You'd absolutely hate it, but you should check it out. It's like Risk on Crack. It's Risk on Crack.
We'd hate it, so I board flip a lot.
You'd absolutely hate it, but you should try it.
Deal.
That's like when you're eating something, you're like, oh, this is terrible.
Yeah,
Try
this
it.
smells so bad. Eat this.
And then Marley Farron also said, Clue is my favorite game because I am really good at it, which drives my kids nuts. Monopoly had to be given away when Ryan and I were first married because I manipulated him on a property trade and I beat him really bad.
Oh.
Now it's back in our house and I make my children angry when I win. I hate Scrabble because I'm terrible at words. By the way, the board game culture is crazy. My brother has too many complicated board games. He's created some himself because, that's fun.
Yeah. What is it about board games that makes people so angry? Because that's what I got from every comment.
Is that they get frustrated at it?
Yeah, it's like the nice family way of tearing each other apart.
Well, because I think that's what it is. It's like you play with your friends and family who you know and love, and all of a sudden you realize they're cheating liar faces.
And then the tension finally can come out.
Yeah, and that's what it is, though. Is like you trust these people, and then when they look you in the face and lie to it, all of a sudden it's like, you betrayed me. How can I ever trust you again?
We're on the same team.
Yeah. But that's not what we're talking about today. What are we talking about today, Zach?
Gentlemen, today we are talking about what in the world is overrated.
Overrated.
We did that pretty well.
Yeah.
We harmonize claps.
Yeah, the only thing we can harmonize.
Hey.
Yeah.
According to Zach.
And as Zach mentioned, we did this back in August of 2016, episode 68.
What?
Wow. That's such a throwback.
It's crazy to think about.
crazy.
That was like
That was-
second season.
Wow.
So, Zach, what kind of things did we cover in that show? Because I remember it being quite random, like this show will be
It
as well.
was insanely random, and we've definitely kept that up for this one. But I wanted to talk about some of the things that stood out to me. Obviously, if you have heard Joel make the "so fresh" joke that I did,
Did it originate in that episode?
It started there because he started complaining about
I think
In-N-Out.
it was before that. I think it was when we did our restaurant tiering show.
Yeah,
which
fast
I-
food for thought.
Because I made reference in the show, in the Overrated show. I said I've already mentioned this on before, but
That's true. Okay, so by then
fresh.
it was
still
a
so
thing.
fresh?
and
It
you
was a
probably
thing.
heard that out there. If you don't know, that's In-N-Out Burger's only defense is
Are
just
you
that
serious?
it's fresh.
It sounds like you just copyrighted that slogan right there.
It's on a T-shirt at tpublic.com/baconsale.
Oh,
it is.
It is.
fresh.
So you had some interesting answers, Joel. Andrew Dice Clay was your most overrated stand-up comedian.
Yeah, because people think he's one of the greats, the all-time. They put him in the pantheon of great comedians, and I hate him.
37 years ago, though.
Excuse me for having a range of taste. One of my favorites was when we were talking about the modern singer that was overrated, and I went off on Kanye West, and I think I insulted his mother at one point. But
Wow.
then Kent said Beyonce.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of anger.
There was a lot of anger from that.
Yeah. Some people stopped listening to the show. I think they were in the Bayhive. Bayhive or Beehive? I still don't
Queen
know.
Bee.
And
Yeah.
I still don't care.
Yeah.
Then we did male teen heartthrob. I said Johnny Depp because once again I'm old.
Right.
And
Who
he was a
did I
teen
say?
heartthrob. You said Devon Sawa.
He was way overrated. He looked like everyone else with the butt cut back in the 90s.
Oh man, it was crazy.
I think your wife was pretty mad about that one.
Yeah.
She had a crush on him back in the day.
Right.
Kent, you said that Rey was an overrated Star Wars character. How do you feel now?
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Okay.
I think no one cares anymore.
Yeah.
Well, and I said Boba Fett, which makes sense because now we got the Mandalorian,
Yeah.
who is the better Mandalorian. Anyway, we don't want to give it too many away
yeah.
because go back and listen to episode 68. The show is overrated. You get to hear the entire thing, and you get to hear us so young, so fresh.
You get to hear them
And
complain about the Beatles
The
for 10
audio
minutes.
quality was slightly worse.
I still feel bad about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then what we did is we looked at that last show and we said, we should do a follow-up 4 years later.
Of course.
Almost 4 years later. And so we came up with a list of 15 categories that we're going to go through, and Kent and I are going to give our answers on what we feel is overrated in that category.
Exactly.
This is a show where we're going to anger you and anger each other.
I feel like we should be more positive at a time like this. Nah.
Overrated.
Let's get angry.
Let's start with something very appropriate for Baconsale. Breakfast food. Gentlemen, overrated breakfast food.
I'll start.
Go for it.
Omelets.
Omelets.
Oh, come on. I'm off the show.
I knew
Omelets are delicious.
They're really not.
They're like tier 1 breakfast food.
It's like a burnt scrambled egg. You know when
No.
you're cooking scrambled eggs and you're like, oh no, I left it there too long and it stuck to the
Oh,
pan.
these are your own homemade omelets.
Now I'm going to make a pancake out of it and just fold it up and throw some onions in there. In fact, I'll throw some tomatoes or mushrooms or whatever I
So
have
good.
left over. No, in fact, if I go to a breakfast place,
Saute the mushrooms in some butter before, and then you put it in there.
it's all
What?
bad. Yeah, it's all bad. It is the landfill of the breakfast kingdom.
It is not.
You're like, I had a pot pie for dinner last night. I'm going to throw that in an omelet now.
So good. Can't.
So, okay.
Are you talking your own homemade omelets? Have you been to an omelet bar?
Yeah, I would never get an omelet, even
They're
at an
so
omelet bar.
good.
No,
Come,
because
come for the toppings, stay for the undercooked eggs.
that's it.
It's so good.
It's an egg as an entree, and an egg should always be a side.
No.
It should always supplement the meal.
Hold on there, Turbo.
is
No, tell me, other than an omelet, when would you have an egg as the main course?
every single time. Kent,
When?
eggs are my staple breakfast food.
Just eggs.
and ketchup.
So you don't have like pancakes or waffles or anything
If
else?
I do and I have eggs on the side, booyah, eggs are the main thrust there.
Really? Because I always put eggs right to the side. I'm like and I like fried eggs actually over easy more than I like scrambled.
I do them all sorts of ways.
So an
I love
omelet
eggs.
are really just the scrambled consistency. When I was 12, I used to like break some eggs, put them in a bowl, and throw that in the microwave with some milk. For
So
about
you're
30
clearly an
seconds.
expert on the topic.
Yeah, and it tasted just like an omelet, meaning I had no taste. And you throw some veggies in there, sorry, it's not very good.
Can't-
Diced ham doesn't make
So
it better.
good. Yes, it does.
If I go to a breakfast place, I'm like, yeah, I will only ever look at the bread options because it's delicious and you can pour syrup on it. If I see an omelet, I'm like, cool, a cowboy omelet. That seems a little irregular.
Those are really good.
No, it's not.
No, omelet. Here's the thing. I hardly order omelets when I go to restaurants only because they're expensive. More expensive than they should be considering
Because it's an egg. It's like three
as
eggs.
opposed to pancakes, which is flour
That
and eggs.
they made fresh and it expands in your tummy and it's so good.
No, I'm not bashing on pancakes. I love pancakes.
Right.
But eggs are my best
This
breakfast
is how we're
food.
starting the show. Omelets. It's way overrated.
Nope.
Joel, what about you?
Not Baconsale approved.
I chose donuts.
Oh.
And I'll tell you why. Because all the time
wow.
when you go to like an early morning youth activity or an early morning service project,
Or
Work
you
at
skip
work.
You skip breakfast before work and you
like-
show up and there are donuts.
well, yeah, you go to work and like people bring donuts, and I'm like, this is such. It's the path of least resistance. It's like I put no effort into this. Here's a box of donuts, and it's way too sugary for that early in the morning.
Oh, hold on. Do you eat the donuts that are provided?
Sometimes I'm like, sugar, no thanks.
Really?
I don't like. I don't.
So there's a glazy right there. You're going to pass that up?
Well, I know my limits. Like if I have not eaten some sort of actual food before I jump into sugar territory, I get sick.
Let me tell you this.
Like
well,
eggs.
let's say there's a gallon of milk right next to the donuts. That seems like it would be kind of
Chocolate
healthy.
or regular?
Both, actually. Would you then go for a donut and the chocolate milk?
Probably.
Yeah, of course
normally,
you would.
Normally, I would have eaten eggs in the morning, so I have my protein and my healthy
Just
food in
the
my
egg
stomach.
by itself.
I do that a lot, where I have the scrambled eggs in the morning. That's all I eat.
Do you put it in a bowl and just put it in the microwave for
No,
30
I
seconds?
fry it up with
That's
like
disgusting.
some
Monster,
olive
how are
oil
you?
and some 2 eggs and some salt and pepper. I'll put like a ham slice in there and some cheese.
You actually-
mushrooms, tomatoes.
You're super biased on this, and I mean, obviously, this is our opinion on the overrated thing, but you believe that most donuts taste the same.
No, I said there's basically 2 classes of donuts. There's bakery donuts and supermarket donuts. And you're going to get a good higher quality at a bakery than you would at any supermarkets. People are like, oh yeah, I swear by Harmon's. And I'm like, it's the same as Smith's, basically.
Bowman's in Kaysville.
Basically the same.
Amazing. No, it is not. There are differences because these people put love into these donuts.
Reams.
But do you guys ever wonder why?
Reams?
Reams donuts.
Reams donuts?
Right there, proving my point. You hate on them.
I have to try them now. I just didn't know they had donuts. I thought they just had a Wranglers.
By the way, the average American eats 31 donuts a year. These are fun facts
That's
that I
it?
got just for you, Zach.
I ate 31 donuts in January.
There are more than 25,000 donut shops in the country, and they're pumping out more than 10 billion donuts a year.
Nice.
Do you guys have a favorite donut? Well, you apparently don't like
no,
donuts.
I love donuts. Just not as like the first thing as I'm getting up in the morning and I still have toothpaste in my mouth.
Best part
But
of
I'll
waking
tell you what,
up.
I get a blueberry cake donut, I'm a happy person.
Okay, so you like cake donuts.
I like blueberry cake donuts.
Yeah.
Because they're like the regular cake donuts, they put a weird film in your mouth, but blueberry makes up for that. This isn't our donut show. Save it for our donut show.
Can we have a donut show?
Donuts are overrated.
They are not overrated. They're
food.
delicious.
For a breakfast food.
Oh, no. It's the perfect size, and you don't feel too guilty if you just eat a little glazing.
Hey, good morning. Here's some diabetes before you work on the service project.
I will
Go cut
happily
down a
take
tree
two.
and then crash.
Let me put that on a napkin and have it soak right through.
Oh, yeah, then you get the sticky napkin and you got sticky hands.
You have to eat the napkin at that point because it becomes part of the donut.
Donuts. Overrated breakfast food.
I don't know about that.
But you're okay with omelets being an overrated breakfast
No, he
food?
said no to that too.
Okay.
Oh, now you're okay?
As long as he disagrees with both of us, yes.
True. Because you know why? Biscuits. They're the overrated. They're the saltine crackers of the breakfast
Biscuits
world.
and gravy are super overrated.
Okay,
so
biscuit.
overrated.
No, I love biscuits. Biscuits and gravy is one of my favorite breakfasts.
What's in that gravy? Nobody knows.
Sausage and flour
I'd
and
rather just
butter
have
and
sausage.
milk.
Is left over.
I make homemade biscuits and gravy.
Throw that
that's
gravy in an
delicious.
omelet. People will love it, and they don't even know what's in
Eggs. When I went on a cruise one time, actually a couple times, every time I got my favorite breakfast is eggs Benedict and biscuits and gravy. That's like my ultimate breakfast.
How much weight did you gain?
So much.
And you're talking about donuts.
And corned beef
are bad for
hash.
you?
I love that too.
Okay.
Anyway.
Let's just do a
Save our
donut
breakfast
show.
show.
This is so good. All right. Next up, we've got your overrated cult classic movie.
I love musical theater. I love musicals. I love campy horror films. I hate the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, wow.
The film, based on the 1973 stage musical production, is about a newly engaged couple that have a breakdown in an isolated area and must seek shelter at the bizarre residence of Dr. Frank Enfurter, starring Tim Curry, Susan Sarandon, and Barry Bostwick. This is one where, when it first came out, did not do well at the box office. However, it has continued to run in theaters for the last 4 decades. It is the longest running theatrical release in film history.
What the?
People still go to the theater to watch this.
Not right now.
And they, well, yeah. And they do these kind of interactive watchings where he'll, at one point he says, ladies and gentlemen, a toast. And everyone will throw toast at the screen or at the performers who are performing the movie in front of the movie that's playing on the screen. People are obsessed with this movie. It was selected for the preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress in 2005. And it has one great song, The Time Warp. And one good song, science fiction double feature, and a bunch of forgettable fluff.
They have other songs in that movie?
They don't.
Guys.
But
Is this hurting
and I
you,
know
Zach?
this is hurting Zach because he's probably a fan of it.
Terribly.
But I was like, oh man, this sounds like a fun horror movie. Well, not a horror movie, campy musical horror. Like, you know, that sounded like a fun thing. I watched it. It was actually in a theater class. We watched it.
That was the first time.
I think so. It was in college, and I watched it. And
It
I
was
was
always
like,
a little racy. So
and I went, this movie? People like this movie? And I didn't like it. And so then I was like, well, maybe if I go to one of the screenings, I'll enjoy it. But I just have no
Well,
desire.
it's so off kilter. It's almost the very definition of a cult classic movie.
Yeah.
Because it's meant to unnerve you.
It is. And it's supposed to be bizarre and out there, and all the costumes are bizarre, and all the characters, the way they're acting is bizarre. Never been a fan. I think it's absolutely overrated. I'm sorry, Zach. You feel free to share them.
Honestly, I feel like I get it. I think I like liking it maybe more than I like it. I'll be honest.
You like liking it?
Yeah, because I think it's fun. It is a community experience. It is something that is fun to do with other people. It's fun to reference with other people.
And you're talking these like interactive showings, not just watching the movie on your own.
Even then, just watching it with friends. Like I probably would never sit down alone and watch the movie. I would feel weird, but it's on my Halloween playlist rotation to listen to the music. I like almost all of the songs.
Time Warp is on mine.
Yeah, it's great.
When I was 14, it was on TV during the Halloween season, and my parents knew it was going to be on TV. They asked me not to watch it. So when I watched it that night, I didn't understand it, and I didn't get it, and I still don't like it. Joel, that's a good choice.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I could see. I like it. I really do. But
And
I
that's
don't
fine.
like it. I do think it is overrated. So I'll give you that.
My choice is a much bigger movie than yours, but the way people
Bigger
treat
than the
it,
longest running theatrical release in
I
film
think
history?
maybe more liked.
Oh, okay.
But it is a very cult movie, and quoted by this cult group.
Fight Club?
It's Fight Club.
The Big Lebowski.
Oh.
I understand that.
Right. Because it's a big movie. It's the Coen brothers. And it is one of their most well-known movies. But it's almost unlikable on purpose. Like, it just meanders like the dude himself.
You watch this movie and you think to yourself, what is going on? But then it doesn't give you enough time to think about that. It just keeps moving along. You're like, okay, I guess we're going here now.
Right. The dude says the word man 147 times in this movie.
That's almost as many F words as there are in the movie.
292 F words.
Have you ever seen the TV edit of it, by the way?
No.
Oh my gosh.
It is hilarious.
What do they say instead?
He peed on my precious rug or something like that. This is what happens when you find a friend in the Alps. That's when he's smashing up his car.
That's right.
This is what happens when you find a friend in the Alps.
The lack of context for that makes it good.
Great.
But we've talked a lot about this lately where we talk about college movies and posters that people would have at college. And The Big Lebowski was always one of those.
Yes.
It's used a lot in memes and GIFs at this point. But that's really all that's there for me. And I was looking this up online today, and people are like, if you didn't like it when it came out, I think it's like 98, watch it again and again and again. And I get it. Sometimes I need to watch a movie twice to say, I get it. Okay, I can follow this, and it was a little complicated. But if it needs to be beat into my head just how funny a movie could be, or maybe how like I will relate to it, it's basically a lazy weed-filled movie, and this character just rambles on.
It's a series of bizarre ramblings, which it's very Coen Brothers.
Yes.
Like, you look at the Coen Brothers movies, a lot of them have the same thing of just this high kind of stylized dialogue, bizarre happenings, weird-looking people.
Right.
I like this movie. I do like The Big Lebowski, but I might agree that it's overrated because it's not my favorite Coen Brothers movie. No. And so whenever people kind of put this up on the pedestal, I'm like, okay, I like it too. You may be right there.
So there is actually a religion dedicated to this, which is why I think it's overrated, because what people dedicate, and it used to be called the Church of the Latter-day Dude, and it is now called Dudism, right?
Gosh.
I want to read, so I went to the website today, and I had to send in my email and everything, so I think I may now be a dude.
You're a priest in the Church of Dudism.
Yes. And so it says, come join the slowest growing religion in the world, Dudism. An ancient philosophy that preaches non-preachiness, practices as little as possible, and above all, lost my train of thought there. Anyways, if you'd like to find peace on earth and goodwill, man, we'll help you get started right after a little nap. So I don't really like this movie. Zach, do you care for this one?
No, actually, I don't think I've ever in one sitting made it through the
Watch
entire
it
movie.
7 times.
I just can't.
There's certain moments that where I will belly laugh.
Yeah,
Like,
it's got
obviously
charm,
you're not a
but-
golfer. It makes me laugh every time.
Have you seen the unedited one?
I haven't.
So I feel like that's why it's funny to you, because of the lines that they...
Well, no. Like, even the part when they're doing the funeral and he opens the canister and the ashes fly back in his face, that gets me every time.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
There's good stuff in
There's
there.
bits in there I enjoy.
It's not the worst movie. It's just overrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is that's the course of this whole show.
Right.
Is we don't hate these things.
No.
Maybe we're just saying they're not as good as everyone makes them out to be.
Exactly.
Overrated.
I'll throw in my quick one here because I have feelings about this one. It's Reservoir Dogs, because I think people only like the imagery and like 2 scenes in the movie. For some reason, it's put on this high
Most people
pedestal
talk about the ear scene and
than just walking.
yeah.
No, it's the tension.
Yeah.
It's the tension. It's all in a room. I think it's a great movie.
It is
Because
a
of
good
the
movie.
tension and what they don't show.
But I think it's why people like it, is why it's overrated. They just like
I
it
think
because
most Tarantino's overrated.
That's right. Well,
Take it easy.
I don't know about that.
Wow.
Moving on,
I said most.
gentlemen, sitcom characters. Who's your overrated sitcom
Are we going to
character?
agree on this one, Kent?
We're going to agree on this one.
Okay. On a count of 3.
3, 2, 1.
Sheldon Cooper.
Yeah. Sheldon
Why
from The
would you
Big Bang
agree?
Theory
Okay.
and
Wow.
Young Sheldon, which I haven't seen Young
Now,
Sheldon.
Kent hates The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
I do not.
Oh.
It is blackface for nerds. Straight up.
Wow.
Like, it's like, hey, is that okay to say?
No, probably not.
I'm going to say that's okay to say. They're
As long as you say it.
They just throw out references, as long as you're not being me in the show, right?
Right, perfectly.
But they throw out references. They just say nerdy things. They're like,
No, but you're bashing on the show. We're talking about Sheldon Cooper's character.
okay, yeah, sorry.
Pull
Yeah.
it back. Pull back. Pull back the hate. No, so
Okay.
Kent hates it. Kent hates this movie. I do not.
The show, yeah.
I've seen a few episodes in their entirety, only a few, and you know what? I thought it was enjoyable, but definitely not worthy of 4 Primetime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Comedy Series. Wins, by the way, not nominations.
Wins.
He got nominated a lot more. And he also got the Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Television Series, Musical, or Comedy. There's so many other better characters out there.
Right.
That Sheldon, I honestly, okay, so if you don't know who Sheldon is, On The Big Bang Theory, genius level IQ displays a fundamental lack of social skills, difficulty understanding irony and sarcasm in other people. Like, I think Abed Nadir from Community is a better version of that.
Oh, so much.
Without like the high and mightiness.
Well, it's because he doesn't have
PhD.
the laugh track following him. Like, this laugh track is it's a crutch that show falls on. And most sitcoms fall on.
But I have laughed at him is what I want to say. Like, I'm not saying I hate this character. I'm just saying way overrated.
This is a character, and I know sitcoms are definitely these inflated caricatures of people you may know or may want to hang out with at some point, but no one would want to be anywhere near Sheldon Cooper. Mm-mm. Like, he demands everything, he offers nothing in return. If his friends are about to achieve their goals, he'll talk down to them. He'll be jealous and almost make sure that they don't achieve their goals. He always has to be on top.
You know how overrated he is, by the way? He has had an asteroid named after him. Asteroid 246247 is called Sheldon Cooper. And then
Wait. Is this asteroid going to eventually hit the Earth and kill us all? Because I feel like that's fitting.
It'd be overrated apocalypse.
That would happen in 2020. That's August.
He also has a species of bee named after him, the Euglossa bazinga. This is
Wow.
what their
Serenity now.
Scientists are naming scientific things after this character, an overrated character.
And it drives me crazy because they try to make it like he's some DC fan on the show and all he wears are DC hero t-shirts because that looks cool because it looks like you're trying to be a nerd. And now they've made one with Bazinga on it. Like, it's just drives me crazy. Obviously, this boils my blood.
It does. It does.
But definitely overrated because he is now a classic sitcom character. He'll be seen among
In the pantheon of like
Yeah.
Lucille Ball and
like
Hawkeye Pierce.
Kramer or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Good choice, guys. All right, next up, we're going to change gears a little bit and go with your overrated smartphone feature.
Random.
Very. That's the show.
I feel like the most overrated smartphone feature is chat filters.
Okay.
Because
Explain.
you know when you're talking to someone and then you all of a sudden you turn on a filter and I'm wearing sunglasses. This is silly. Oh, I look like a dog now. This is silly. It's really only for you because the other person is just going to be annoyed. And then on top of that, my kids, whenever we get on a face chat, they want to turn those on and then they have no interest in talking to grandma and grandpa. All they want to do is go blah, 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 blah. And poor grandma and grandpa are sitting there watching going, what's my grandkids going to talk to
They're
me?
season up again.
So, yeah, I think the chat filters are definitely overrated. I think we're going to look back at this time, all the pictures we took of those filters and all the videos we did of those filters and be like, wow, we were kind of idiots.
You know why they're used, though, at least by adults? Because they do all of the
filter
face
out
slimming
the
and face
imperfections.
smoothing. And,
They do, but then they turn
and then
you
give you doggy ears.
Then you turn your eyes into butterflies, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
it's supposed to be cute.
For example, on dating apps, these are very prevalent. And if
Yeah.
I do see a filter like this, I will immediately swipe left.
Is that bad?
Oh, I respect you.
Swiping left means no.
Okay. What about a mutual?
Swipe up. It's a celestial swipe if it's up. Oh, down. It's down.
Down.
You send them down.
Down to outer
my
darkness.
gosh.
Right. So now we're talking about dating apps. But many people will add those filters and they'll even do the dog tongue filter. And I'm like, but why?
Yeah.
Like that hides half of your face and maybe that was the point.
It is
I'm
the
getting
point.
it now. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay.
For mine, voice assistants.
Oh,
So
Siri,
overrated.
Oh, like when it
Bixby,
talks to
Google.
you?
When you ask Siri, Alexa, Cortana, Bixby, or Google Assistant, or OK Google, as many people talk to it, I don't.
Someone's Google just went off.
And this is a personal. Yes. Oh no. And maybe it's 'cause-
Alexa, play Baconsale.
Stop it. I've been burned by Jake and Joel in the past with my Alexa that I had.
Oh, yeah.
Here in the Bacon Cave. It's not here anymore. But they would set it to scare me in the middle of the
No,
night.
no, don't lump me in with that.
Were you complicit?
No.
Yes, you were.
No, I
you
was
knew
not.
about it.
No, I did not. Remember? Jacob did it, and I had no idea.
So you're saying the sociopath playing this on his own?
You should know I find sleep to be sacred, and I will not mess with another person's sleep.
Thank you.
Sleep is not overrated.
And I understand. Like, I've seen Joel use Google. I've seen you use it to get like a quick factoid or something.
But then it reads the entire paragraph to me, and I'm like, I just didn't know what that.
According to the Wikipedia article, yeah.
yeah, so 26% of U.S. adults own a smart speaker, like I have an Alexa.
Yeah.
But only 2% of those have used it to make a purchase. And I think that's what they're saying. These are used to be a wave of the future. Alexa, order me toilet paper, for example.
Wait. I thought you were talking about the feature on your phone where you Google stuff and just talk to it.
Both.
You're talking like like
All of
Amazon
it.
Echo.
Well, I'm talking voice assistants all together.
It's the same assistant in the speaker as it is in the phone.
Right. I'm saying all of it all together.
So you think Amazon Echoes and Google Google Homes are overrated?
I use them as speakers and only as speakers because I yell at my Alexa and I say, let's say I listen to music in the shower,
There's
I get out
you yell at her.
and I go, Alexa, and then you see the little ring, the blue ring turn up, and then I go, stop, and it doesn't.
Oh.
And I'm like, Alexa, what are you doing? Alexa, stop.
You
Doesn't
really are
stop.
setting off so many people's smart
Alexa,
devices right now.
buy Baconsale merch. And she never does. And so I just go and I unplug her. I
You're
hate
not
it.
rusing. I love the. Okay, if I thought you were talking about like the actual.
And
like,
keep
use
in
of the
mind,
phone,
like Siri I've used before, but mostly it's so my kids can go, Siri, my name is, and then they say poo poo pee pee a lot. And so Siri will call me names. But then I had Bixby for my previous phone for my Galaxy, and Bixby is like the most pointless one of
Bixby's
all.
the worst, yeah.
And so you have a different voice assistant for every speaker, for every phone, and there's no like one-stop shop because they have their strengths and weaknesses.
No, see, the thing is, we have an Amazon Echo in my house, and I will talk to it as if it were a person. Like I'll be like, as I'm
You
walking,
have so many people at your house to talk to. Why would you need to talk to it?
because I'll be things like as I'm like using the last bit of salt for the cookies I'm making, and I'm like, put that little dash in there, and I'm like, oh, I'm out. I'm like, all right, Echo, add some salt to the shopping list. It'll be like, okay, and then it's just on the shopping list. I don't have to worry
You're
about
one
it.
of the very few people that actually
And then
do
I'll
that.
set a timer as I'm walking by when I put the kids in timeout.
See, you don't even need to say stuff like that because these things are spying on us. You can say, I'm feeling salty, and you'll get ads for salt on your phone for the next month.
I don't think that is what I'll say, but I think
Feeling so salty.
Yeah. No, I really do enjoy these, and
I don't. I think
do a
they-
movie list for Pizza Movie Night. When I remember a movie I want to show to my kids, I'll
I
throw it
think
on there.
right now they are pointless.
The other day, I asked it. Oh, what did I ask? It was some random question I had, and it actually answered for me. Like Google's good with that.
Yeah, you could look by the time you have to repeat yourself or ask it the right way. You
My
could
hands
go
are
on
dirty.
your
I was
phone.
making dinner.
No.
No, it's good. And then we'll throw on music all the time. I use it as a speaker for the entire house because we have them in different rooms.
See, as a speaker, those things are fine, but
Yeah.
that's why I hit play on my phone and
I'll
it
say
goes right
tell
to the
everyone
thing.
dinner, and it will announce on every Echo in the house dinner.
And so it knows when you're having dinner. And
Yeah,
so it's
so my
spying
kids
on
know
you.
too.
And the government
They have to
knows.
go from every wing of the house. The kids have to come in.
Yeah, overrated.
To the feeding table.
I'm salty.
Clearly. Next up, we're going to look at children's TV shows. You have probably had to look at a few of these recently, too.
Yeah, we've done a whole show on these and talked about some annoying ones, but the one that really
Not annoying,
sticks
this
out
is
to me.
This is overrated.
Oh, yeah.
What's an overrated
It's
children's
annoying
TV
to
show?
me, and many people like it. And it is, maybe about 25 years old now? Rugrats.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, I think Rugrats is so extremely overrated. And I know it's in the early days of Nick TV.
Sure.
But the animation has aged really poorly. In fact, it probably aged poorly about a month after Rugrats came out. This went for 9 seasons. They had 2 spin-off shows and had 3 movies for Rugrats.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I might agree with overrated because I like it, but
Right.
I don't love it.
Like the baby talk they had, it never felt fun or cutesy.
Yeah, they
It's-
say the wrong word to mean something.
Yeah, it was like instead of George Washington, it was like George Washing Machine, and it was meant to be funny. Oh no, Joel!
That's cute.
Now you think it's underrated, don't you?
Yes, I do.
But it's basically a story of like every episode, babies that run away from home. Tommy wants to retrieve a ball or something. Angelica yells at some point, and then the group is saved by the end. Like they almost die every
Angelica's
single episode.
evil.
She is
Angelica's
evil.
evil.
She was actually based on one of the bullies that the showrunners hated back in the day.
Oh.
And so Angelica was made. But the animation's sloppy. Everything's sloppy. The voice acting is probably better than the actual show itself. But I've always hated the show. Ever since watching a few episodes like 20, 25 years ago.
And really, Rugrats is just a story of negligence.
It really is.
How about you, Joel?
I chose one that is the 5th longest running American animated series, 12 seasons, 262 episodes. It's on Nickelodeon, and it takes place in a pineapple under the sea.
Oh.
SpongeBob SquarePants
Wow.
is overrated.
Wow.
Absolutely
Holy moly.
overrated.
Has a Broadway musical based on it.
Joel, you're an old.
Overrated. I am an old.
Joel, you're an old.
And I fully acknowledge that.
SpongeBob's the
Hold
best.
on. You like Big Lebowski, so meaning, it's a little weed enhanced, and so is SpongeBob SquarePants.
So SpongeBob SquarePants came out in 1999. I was I was just going into the MTC at that point, so I was already an adult at this point. And
Who do you think you are?
so I went 2 years without really knowing much about it. I came back and it was
Thanks, Zach.
everywhere. People were wearing SpongeBob boxers and had like adults were wearing SpongeBob boxers and had like SpongeBob stickers on their car. I'm like, who is this? So I watched it. Grating. absolutely grating.
It's kind of meant to be, though.
I know, but that's the whole point. It's this annoying kind of in-your-face comedy. I actually equated a lot to Ren and Stimpy, where it's like, look, we're just going completely bizarre.
It should be 1:30 a.m. and you're probably a college kid.
Yeah. But the thing is, it wasn't just kids. I see people worshiping SpongeBob SquarePants.
Right.
I'm surprised there's not already a church about him.
Yeah.
And Patrick and Squidward and all that. And like people freak out. And I get it because this is their G.I. Joe's, Transformers, the better cartoons.
Isn't it crazy though? The legacy of this show is still going.
And it is.
It's still relevant.
The show is still going.
Yeah.
And I'm still surprised they're cranking these out, although people have said the last few seasons have gone severely downhill. Like people don't watch as much anymore.
Sure.
But it's won 4 Emmy Awards for Outstanding Special Class Animated Program. And I just don't understand it. And 2 movies? Enough already.
Is
And
it just 2 movies with the new one coming out?
I guess
as well?
so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Keanu Reeves is in a tumbleweed.
I just don't get it. I've watched the show a number of times, and every time I'm like, why do people like this? Not that I hate it, but I'm just like, this is so overrated. So overrated.
I will say I am a fan of the show, but I am shocked it's still on. Like it came out when I was a kid, so I was in the prime age. I am definitely nostalgic for it. But
do you own SpongeBob boxers?
Several. But I will say, like, I'm also only nostalgic for the first 3 seasons. I've watched episodes of it since, and it doesn't really catch me. But if I see an episode that I saw as a kid, those songs, I still know every word. I know what's going to happen in these episodes. I still like them.
Is there more songs than just the theme song?
Oh, several. Would you like me to sing all of them?
No, I'm good.
And go. 3
I do like the theme
later.
song. I have to admit, I do like the theme song. And there are some gags that I enjoy. I'm not a fan of the show. So it's overrated.
Controversial. That might be the hot take of the episode.
I'm going to get some hate for that.
If you're not going to get hate for that, you'll get hate for this one. Comic book movie actor or actress. Classic Baconsale. Overrated comic book movie.
Are we starting fights here? Is this what's going to happen here?
I am going to start a fight.
I mean, I expected this, Joel.
I'm so sorry.
It's funny because I was, go ahead.
Don't say Ben Affleck.
Well, who did you think I was going to say?
Well, I think you're going to say someone I hold dear to my heart, and you're going to say Ben Affleck.
No.
Or
Henry Cavill.
No. Michael Fassbender as Magneto.
What?
So...
And listener, the headphones have been thrown off, and Kent is storming away.
The way
One of the greatest working actors we have today.
Not in those movies.
What?
So
have you seen First Class?
Yes.
Have you seen Days of Future Past?
Yes. So he was in.
Don't watch the other ones.
He was. He was in. I was going to say Michael Fassbender played Magneto in 4 films: X-Men First Class, X-Men Days of Future Past, X-Men Apocalypse, and Dark Phoenix. Sir Ian McKellen played him in 5. And so
he was sleeping for 4 of those.
Sir Ian McKellen.
He was in a nursing home.
So here's the thing. I would have picked James McAvoy because I think he is.
What?
Joel. Because he is not Professor X. And as much as he tries to be, he is not Professor X.
Oh my
but the thing
gosh.
is, the way I picked this is I went through and I looked at best performances in action movie, best performance in comic movie, best performance superhero movie.
Right.
James McAvoy rarely cracked the list I was looking at. Michael Fassbender was on every single one.
Oh, so you're saying McAvoy is just, he's rated, he's whelmed.
Yeah. Like people are like, oh yeah, he's not.
But Fassbender, because of the gravitas he brings
because
to
of his
a
glaring
villain
and
like that.
staring. 'Cause that's all he does during all 4 movies is glares and
Watch
stares.
First Class again
They
and tell me that.
shoehorned him into Dark Phoenix, and he had nothing to do except for sit there and stare.
He does it all so well.
We don't mention those last 2 movies when we talk about this, but First Class
Don't
is
get me
actually
wrong.
amazing. His
Amazing?
anger. Oh, yeah. When he
Amazing.
is in that bar with those 2 Nazis.
Oh, that's the best.
The anger, context, and the anger in his eyes, the revenge in his heart.
I'm not saying it's not good.
Unbelievable.
I'm not saying it's not good, but I'm saying
And
this
with
is
the
not.
theme.
This is not Academy Award winning performance. He is not Magneto. Sir Ian McKellen is Magneto.
Stop.
No,
he has.
Sir Ian McKellen was
Michael
always
Fassbender,
30 years too old to play
Michael
Magneto.
Fassbender, no menace. I felt menaced by Sir Ian McKellen.
I'm feeling
You did?
menaced by this conversation.
You felt menaced when he took his dentures out and started like that's he could barely float anymore.
That scene when he takes the metal out of the guard and like pulls it from his body was fantastic. And the whole time he felt like a good foil to Professor X. In the newer movies, maybe it was because James McAvoy wasn't as powerful as Professor X, but I always felt Magneto, he was good, Kent, but he is overrated because people keep putting him on the pedestal.
he plays chess
Academy
in a
Award
movie
winning.
for 5 minutes.
Kent, he's no Tony Stark.
Okay, now I know you're kidding. He's trying to get my goat.
Yeah, but I did pick Michael Fassbender only because I kept seeing him pop up, and truthfully, I had no concept going into this, but I kept seeing him pop up, and I kind of went, why does he keep making these lists? And that's why I had to put him on here, because I asked that question.
See, I wish that he, and I know the X-Men is going to Disney. I feel like he should be the carryover. Because to be
They don't
given,
have him anything to do.
To be given something to do, which he didn't in the last 2 movies, instead of being like, yes, you're right, Charles, I am your friend.
I'm your friend. No, I'm your enemy.
Right.
I'm your friend.
So
I'm your enemy.
You mean exactly the same way it was with the original
And they
series?
were-
No,
They
the
were-
original series, he became the enemy at the end, and it was only they had to pair up in Last Stand.
Oh, let's go
Well,
play
if we
chess.
go back to
Now
the
we're
comics
friends.
and cartoons, I mean, they were always had an unhealthy friendship. But yeah, wow, that's okay. That's okay. I'm going to be okay.
I'm riled up on that one.
I feel like I'm going to Hulk out because my choice is Mark Ruffalo.
Oh,
I will
Actually,
agree
good
with
choice.
that.
That's a good
I will
choice.
totally agree with that.
Because here's what people say. Yeah, you know what? Ruffalo is so much better than Norton and so much better than Bana. And I'm like, but do you like him? He's so much better than Norton and so much better than Bana.
Yeah, but is he
He's
good?
not
Is he a good Hulk?
Not as good as Bill Bixby.
Well, that's true. He is literally the worst thing that's happened to Hulk. He has a lack of facial expressions. His delivery is bleak and monotone. It looks like he has no idea what the Hulk is actually supposed to be, or Bruce Banner for that matter.
Agreed.
It seems like he's slurring everything he says.
He doesn't. Well, okay. So I don't buy him as a super mega genius scientist. The Hulk is motion capture.
Yes. And I think the Hulk has kind of been ruined. I think where Mark Ruffalo did well and had character was in the first Avengers, where he talks about how much he kind of hates himself and has tried to take himself out of the equation. Like
He was kind of mousy in that.
There's
one.
there's some good
Yeah.
lines, but then when they all meet up and stuff, like that is the best representation post Incredible Hulk. And then he never got that back because then in Infinity War he was scared and he had performance issues, and then he never. And
Don't
then,
forget the romantic with Natasha.
I don't want to talk about
That's
it.
terrible.
Ken, Mark Ruffalo is overrated
Oh, as an
in
actor.
general.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was
mind
going
that.
to say is everyone looks at him and they go, look at this indie darling and all the nominations he's had before, and now he's playing a superhero. Isn't that cool?
He's done some good stuff. Like I
was
like
in that
him in
journalism
Spotlight.
movie.
Spotlight.
Yeah,
He was good in
Spotlight.
Spotlight.
But it's kind of the same thing where his hair looks a little tousled. He has 5 o'clock shadow and he's a little drunk.
Yep.
Who looks more like they have a goldfish in their mouth? Mark Ruffalo or Tom Holland? Like they're just holding a goldfish in their mouth all the time.
That's actually really good.
The cracker or actual goldfish?
No, actual goldfish.
And they're trying not to swallow
Look
it.
at a picture of them. They look like they're holding a goldfish in their mouth,
That's wonderful.
trying to smuggle it.
Now we have a show image for sure. But it seems like he is a seat filler because Norton was a little difficult in the role. And they're like, we need a good actor, Mark Ruffalo. And so they
They
got
needed
him.
a team player.
They did.
They did, 'cause-
And I honestly, I think there's more of a conspiracy that they know Mark Ruffalo couldn't carry a Hulk movie. And everyone keeps saying, but Universal owns the Hulk. You don't think Disney? I mean, they bought Fox for $94 billion to get the X-Men, right? You don't think they're going to try to buy the rights to Hulk again? Like, they could have made a Hulk movie. They just know the brand is cursed, and they know that Mark Ruffalo doesn't really have it, which is why it
the
was a
problem
buddy
is-
comedy thing in Ragnarok.
It's a difficult character because it's a repetitive character, meaning he doesn't want to become the Hulk. And if he doesn't become the Hulk, he's boring. If he does, then he's failed at his mission of not becoming Hulk.
We've actually never seen him transform into the Hulk since the first Avengers.
True.
Have we not?
No, Age of Ultron didn't even. Well, once again, I'm not going to rewatch it because that movie's terrible.
I hated that movie.
Have we not?
No, I know.
So since the last time he's like, I'm always angry, that was it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'll wait for the correction
Okay.
on Twitter.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mark Ruffalo
All right. Can I just? I'm going to throw one out there and say
Sure.
Ryan Reynolds is super overrated
as
As
which one? Green
Deadpool.
Lantern.
as Deadpool.
You mean Deadpool as Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
Because it's really just Ryan Reynolds.
He's so
think
good for the role, though.
He's good for the role, but I'm done.
Can we
He's
say
overrated?
the franchise is overrated?
Yes, absolutely.
I still find it entertaining.
Even two?
Even two.
Oh,
Great.
ugh.
The turn back time sequence?
Nah. The first
That
one
was
was American
hilarious.
Pie. The number two was
No, that was
American
Cher.
Pie
That
2.
was Cher. Tom.
My favorite superhero. She's ageless.
All right, let's take things honestly to a little bit of a serious note. Gentlemen, I want to hear your overrated condiment.
And you're going first in this one.
All right. And I'm going to start off with some controversy here.
Okay. Well, on condiments?
Condiment controversy.
Well, after breakfast, I'm not surprised.
Omelets are so good.
Ketchup.
What? Ketchup?
Joel?
Against Joel?
I'd like to announce that I'm taking paternity leave. No?
Too soon. Too soon.
After 36, he's got to
Ketchup,
take it.
my ultimate favorite condiment.
And I did this on purpose because I know how much you love ketchup. And I love ketchup.
I have a shirt, Kent. You can
yes.
find it if you go to podbean.com/baconsale. I'm wearing a shirt on that picture. It says, I put ketchup on my ketchup.
Look, when I didn't know what other condiments were, ketchup was my favorite too. And then I discovered barbecue sauce.
I love barbecue sauce too.
Right? Or ranch.
I love ranch.
Or buffalo sauce.
I love buffalo sauce.
Okay, so you like
There's
condiments.
room in my heart for all these condiments.
But why do you keep... quote unquote, why do you keep falling back on tomato sugar paste?
Because, okay, so Kent, it has to be a specific kind.
Okay, go ahead.
So, in the midst of the pandemic, sometimes you can't get out to the store when you need to.
Sure.
And so my wife just grabbed this random Hunt's that was like Hunt's thick ketchup, whatever like that. And normally I like Hunt's. Heinz and Hunt's, those are my ketchups. Anything
Okay.
outside of that, not a fan. And this Hunt's was one of the worst ketchups I've had.
Was
in
it a
long
catsup?
time.
Was it off or what was it?
It was like a catsup type thing. It was like it was called thick and natural or something
okay.
like that.
Hold on, dumb question. What's ketchup?
If you don't know, you don't know.
Catsup and catsup, at least back in the day, I think it was like a different mixture.
Is it like
of
Dijon
ketchup.
mustard? Is that what we're talking
No,
about?
it was like I remember there was a time when my family was going through a rough time and we got catsup in cans and it was basically tomato sauce with sugar in it and it was terrible.
Oh.
Yeah. Whereas
I'm-
ketchup is fantastic.
We all know this. It's half of my second greatest fear, which is ketchup and eggs.
Yeah. Which isn't a fear. I
It's
don't know
a fear.
It's not a fear.
If you threw that in front of me right now,
You would not scream and run. You're telling me if I had a pool full of ketchup and eggs, or just kill everyone's headphones. A pool full of ketchup and eggs and a pool full of sharks, you jump into ketchup and eggs?
Yeah, I'd have to because sharks are more terrifying.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a fear. It's actually that'd be pretty cool. You jump in a pool full of ketchup and eggs.
No, it wouldn't.
That's kind of gross.
Look, here's the thing. We learned from Tiger King that everyone has a streak of white trash. And Joel, I think ketchup is your streak of white trash. And that's
What?
okay.
Whoa.
You love ketchup. And
Ketchup is not white trash. Ketchup
I think
is
it's
basically accepted,
no, it's
widely
like,
mainstream
it's
condiment.
sour tomato paste
It is
with
the
sugar.
king of condiments.
That's just because it's widely available. It's fine on a hot dog. I'll be honest. Like ketchup and mustard on a hot dog's fine.
Some people say ketchup on a hot dog is a travesty.
What? Why?
Yeah.
What?
Because you're supposed to put mustard on a hot dog. That's
Yeah,
why.
that's what people say.
But not ketchup?
That's
No.
what people say. They say ketchup
See,
is for kids on a hot dog.
hot dogs-
I put it on a hot dog.
Hot dogs are trash meat, and ketchup is a trash sauce.
No.
By the way, I took an online quiz in preparation for the show to see which condiment I was. Apparently, I'm mayonnaise, which is disgusting.
That makes sense.
And it says, you're practical and can thrive in many different types of situations.
Aw.
Not in heat.
Definitely not in heat.
Do you know what mayonnaise is made of, Kent? Eggs.
Yeah, see?
And oil.
I must not like eggs. Okay,
Anyway.
Joel, what's your
Joel, what do
condiment?
you got?
Well, I didn't take a swing at your gut for this, Kent. All right? My heart
I'm sorry, I did that on purpose.
belongs
You know
to
that.
ketchup. My condiment is deli mustard.
Okay.
Because deli mustard, they're like, ooh, we're so fancy. We put deli mustard on a sandwich. I'm like, you just ruined the sandwich.
Is it slightly more brown? Is that what it is?
Yeah, so you have yellow mustard, which, by the way, the yellow yellow color comes from turmeric. It's not even from the mustard seed.
Huh. By the way, a lot of people hate mustard. Regular mustard.
Which is yellow mustard?
Yeah.
Which is only regular here in the States, by the way.
Oh, I'm a neon mustard all the way guy.
I like the bright French's yellow mustard.
unnatural
I love
color,
that.
sure.
I love yellow mustard.
yep.
But then you get deli mustard, which is an American invention, and it's coarsely ground mustard seeds with some horseradish usually in it.
Okay.
But then you have Dijon mustard. And by the way, Dijon originated in Dijon, France, and it's a French mustard, strong mustard flavored with white wine. So it's very specific to that region. So don't confuse deli mustard with Dijon mustard. They kind of taste
always
the same.
do. Yeah.
But they're
Pardon
both
me.
terrible.
Do you have any
equally
Grey
terrible.
Poupon?
So mustard is good, and I love it on sandwiches. Deli mustard is horrible. It's like got this brown speckled stuff in it that makes it taste terrible.
Looks like eggs.
Oh, no, I love eggs, but I hate that.
No, like fish eggs.
By the way, there
in
was
your
one
mustard.
Caviar.
time years ago when my wife and I first got married. Sunday afternoon, I needed mustard for something. I don't even remember what it was. I needed mustard, and I had mustard powder. And
Okay.
I thought, oh, I'll just mix that with some vinegar.
Oh, no.
And make mustard because it's like, mustard is vinegar and mustard seed. And so I made it up, and this is way too much information, but I had my wife taste test it just to like, hey, can you try this real quick, see if it tastes like mustard? I almost killed her.
Wait,
Go
what?
ahead.
It was
What?
just like so powerful because it was just mustard powder and vinegar, and it was the strongest flavor. She said her nostrils were burning after that.
No.
I felt terrible. But yeah, deli mustard, I don't know why they keep thinking it's fancy or why people keep putting on sandwiches because it's just disgusting.
Yeah.
Overrated.
Definitely
it's not
overrated.
fancy. Do French's. Yellow mustard all the way.
Kent. I also said ketchup, by the way.
Ketchup is so versatile.
It's everywhere,
Joel's
and
gonna
it
be
doesn't
mad.
need to be. It's not very good.
it is good.
It's fine.
It's the king of condiments.
It's what I have when I don't have anything else.
It is the number one
Baconsale.
choice.
All right, let's get back into the entertainment with your overrated Netflix show. Now, this is a show that I will clarify is like a Netflix original. So not
Yes.
just on Netflix, but
Yes.
comes from Netflix.
Mine was actually inspired by Christopher Nolan's 2017 film Dunkirk. It's The Witcher.
I knew he was going here.
Yeah.
This is my ketchup, by the way.
No, it is not. This is not even close to prevalent. This is a flash in the pan, going to be forgotten here in 5 years.
This is the number one most watched Netflix original show. Number one.
And I don't
which
know
is
why. That's why it's overrated.
Which is why I understand that you're saying it's overrated.
So
Toss a
I
coin
had,
to your ketchup.
which is an overrated song. And
That's a beautiful song.
it's
lovely.
overrated.
Oh,
People are like,
Valley
oh,
of
it's so
Plenty.
great. And it's
In-
overrated.
Stuck in my head
Earworm.
4 weeks.
So everyone at work was like, "Oh, The Witcher! You need to watch The Witcher. The Witcher's amazing. Oh, The Witcher! Oh, have you seen The Witcher? It's so
Hold on.
I've got a complicated map that explains the timeline of The Witcher. Read this before you watch The Witcher, and you will understand The Witcher, the magic of The Witcher."
Did you say it was based off of Dunkirk?
Yep, it is actually.
What?
The first season is told in a non-linear manner, spanning different time periods. But
you made that up.
No, one of the creators said this was inspired by Christopher Nolan's 2017 film.
Brilliant
Dunkirk.
move.
No wonder why you like it so much.
Of course.
Exactly.
'Cause
It's
it
based on a
requires
book
your
series
brain.
of the same name. If you don't know the synopsis, Geralt of Rivia, a solitary monster hunter, struggles to find his place in a world where people often prove more wicked than beasts. Now, let me read that as if it was The Witcher. Hunter, beast, wicked, solitary, Geralt, find place world where people of solitary, more wicked beasts.
You know, I was looking at my guide and I read that perfectly.
Geralt?
So I had Geralt. I had the filters. I watched this on VidAngel. I had the filters set to remove nudity and F words just because, like, just get those.
That's
out of
half of his lines,
Short
by
show.
the way.
the first episode. There was one part when I was like, I cannot tell what is going on. He walked into a room and all of a sudden it was cutting every 5 seconds because apparently there's a bunch of naked people dancing around a tree.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I was like, okay, whatever. But for the most part, most of it was intact. I didn't take any violence. But
Yeah, they
people
have
be
like a couple
then
unnecessary
I'd have
scenes.
people be like, ooh, wait until you see the creature in episode 3. It's the most fantastic creature you've ever seen. I saw it and I'm like, that's a skeleton kind of creature, ghostly creature. That's kind of
away.
cool.
Diane,
So
this is
I
so
made
good.
it. I made it 4 episodes in. They're about an hour each.
Right.
I made it 4 episodes in and I went, I don't care about any of these characters. I don't
You just
care
felt
about
apathy,
the story.
right?
Yeah, I was like, I really don't care to see where this story goes. And so after 4 episodes, which is normally with sitcom 20-minute shows, I'll give them 6 episodes.
I give them like
hour shows, I
3.
give them 4.
Yeah.
And so I give it 4 hours of my life, and I want those 4 hours back. And so I did read the synopsis of how it ended, and I went, yeah, I'm glad I didn't waste time on that because this is an overrated piece of trash.
I really like it.
I know you do, and I don't understand why.
Yeah, it's cool. It fills that gap that Game of Thrones season 7 left.
It tries so hard to be Game of Thrones, and it's
Well,
not.
every fantasy show is going to be. It wants to take that place.
Well, it's because it's created the vacuum. Like Lost.
Right.
When Lost left, they had all those kind of mystery dramas pop in there. When Game of Thrones left, it left the vacuum, and then Witcher tries to fill it, and it basically just tripped and fell on its face and then tumbled down the stairs.
Netflix is loving life, though, because when they make season 2, it's going to have just as many ratings, if not more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overrated.
Family friendly.
So this one was tough
Yeah,
because
Henry Cavill was completely wasted.
His physique was in it, so I don't think so.
Netflix shows for me are all kind of like middling to some are quite good, like House on
crap.
House
I know
on
what you're
Haunted Hill.
gonna say.
What?
So you're going to say Stranger Things.
No, I'm not going to.
Okay.
I'm not going to do a hot take like that. Like
You totally would, though.
Stranger Things season 2. Did I already say that?
No, I did.
Oh,
Go on.
Zach said Stranger Things, everyone. Stranger Things season 2 is kind of like hot garbage. Season 3 did redeem it a little bit, but that's not my choice. My choice is one that's critically loved, has won so many awards. It's Orange is the New Black.
That's a good take.
See, I've never seen it.
Don't.
I'm not going to.
This was one of the first original, like when Netflix is like, look what we can do. These shows are so diverse and
Topher
original.
Grace is in it.
No, it's Jason Biggs.
That's the one.
Same thing. Famous in the 2000s.
And the girl from that 70s show.
Yeah, Laura Prepon or whatever. So this one has across the board from every award show, and remember, there's a lot of specialized award shows, 156 nominations and 46 wins. But from the Emmys, 20 Emmy nominations and 4 wins.
Wow.
That's a lot of praise for a show like this, which honestly,
It's women in prison.
Woman in prison. It's basically
That's
like
the very boiled down
this
version of it.
liberal white woman goes to, and she's very spoiled, goes to prison, realizes it's very diverse and gets taught a lot of lessons. And then it uses the Lost format. Basically, everyone has a flashback scene. So you get to know their character and then it goes back to the prison. So it's really kind of a Lost type show without the mystery, intrigue, or entertainment value.
Wow.
Season 1 really did come out of the gate swinging. Like there is a lot of crazy stuff that happens, but it turns quickly into a cartoon where you don't like a single character. And I believe, so this is one of the shows I hate watched 4 seasons of. And I'm like, I got to keep watching. And then I listened to my friend Joel, who told me that if I just read the IMDb synopses or the Wikipedia synopses, I'd be fine, which is something I had to do for Downton Abbey as well.
Yeah.
Or Mad Men, for example. And so I started reading the synopses and I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I didn't just watch 47 minutes
It's like you
of
get,
trash TV.
you get like a half hour, you get a recap, and you're done.
Right. And so this show was universally loved, 7 seasons, and people stopped caring
Whoa.
after season 4. But still, I don't understand. Like, good actors in the show, but it's just it's a dumb
overrated.
cartoon. Yeah.
It's a good take. I like it. All right, let's move over to movies with your Pixar movie. What's your overrated Pixar?
Kent's going to get some anger.
It's time for the anger. I mean, if I mention any Pixar movie, I'm going to get the anger.
Yeah, there's the right answer.
Up.
Yep, that's it.
No.
I know. I mentioned this before.
Nope.
It's a brilliant 10-minute short film.
You are so right.
I love the rest of it, too.
You do?
I love Doug.
Kevin's
I
a
love the
girl.
balloons.
You like that?
I love it.
So the first 10 minutes for me are like a straight A. Like, it's one of the best things Pixar's ever done.
The score? Wow.
Yes, you're right. And then the rest is a D. Like, I think it's kind of a C plus movie if you like average that out. It's just cliche Pixar chase sequences for the end of the movie.
The first Pixar movie to show human blood, and you're giving it overrated.
You're right. Just for the blood, I should give it a better grade. The jokes are just repeated throughout, and they're not even as good as Pixar normally has. Because normally they'll be like, hey, adults, we have something for you here just because you brought your kids to this movie. But the jokes are, hey, that dog talks. That dog has a lisp. There's no well-rounded characters, and that's...
I like the dogs that talk.
I mean, no comment. There's like a decoy
Like
every
getting
5
a big bowl of
seconds.
ketchup and just watching this movie.
Wait, do you get in the big bowl of
Just sitting
ketchup?
down in a big bowl of ketchup, spoon feeding myself.
But so the theme in this movie, it's not the destination, but the adventure that gets you there. But the adventure it takes us on is forgettable, and it has a massive tone whiplash. Like, I just think the rest of the movie does not fit with what...
I think it's a beautiful setup followed by a beautifully animated film.
Beautiful. So you get a setup where this guy, this traveler, brings these two people together. Their entire relationship is kind of based on this travel and adventure.
Yes.
And then he meets the guy, and the guy tries to kill him.
Tries
Never
to
meet your
kill him.
heroes.
Oh my
Never
gosh.
meet your heroes.
That's the Pixar message. Never meet your heroes.
That's
They'll
what
try
happened
to
when I met
kill
Kate
you.
Beckinsale. She tried to kill me.
That's what happened when I met you
With
guys.
her beauty.
But that, obviously, I've talked about this many times. I think it is one of the most overrated movies out there. Just because a movie makes you cry once doesn't mean it's a legendary movie.
Yeah, a couple times.
But that opening is
It's amazing.
so good.
It's amazing.
I think
It's
the whole
straight
movie's
A
good.
opening.
So
I disagree with you guys, but I understand why you feel
And
that way.
because the ending, or because the beginning is so good, the ending pays off, I think.
Yeah.
Nope.
But not the whole, just everything in between.
Right.
Oof.
Mine was a direct-to-video sequel that somehow made over $1 billion.
Can I guess?
Sure.
Finding Dory?
It's Finding Dory.
Yeah.
Good take.
So I think this movie must have given me retrograde amnesia, anterograde amnesia, because I can't remember anything about it except for there's a baby stroller at some point and an octopus.
Baby Dory is very cute.
Baby Dory's cute, but this is grossed over $1 billion. Finding Nemo only made $871 million, and it's by far the better movie.
It is. Oh, for sure.
And then this just, I mean, it beat so many box office records. Biggest opening for an animated film in North America. Highest grossing animated film in North America for a while. It received the widest release for a Pixar film. And it was in 3D. And I think that's why. It was 3D IMAX kind of stuff going on. And so obviously
Okay.
the tickets cost more, so it made more money. But also it has an approval rating of 94%.
Whoa.
On Rotten Tomatoes. 84% by the audience, from the audience. And I just don't understand that.
See, how
Just because it's likable. It doesn't mean it's great. It just means like, yeah, I liked it. It's
It
fine.
must have been a bad year for family films because I think everyone just dragged their kids to this one because there was nothing else to see.
I think it goes to show more, though. Like Finding Nemo is so beloved, and so they're like, "Oh, we have to see the next one." And I was disappointed.
Well, see, and I didn't like Finding Nemo the first time I saw it because it stressed me out too much.
Same.
Since then, though, I've thoroughly come to enjoy it.
Not same.
But I feel
Aw.
like it it suffers from the Mater syndrome, where it's like, here's this side character who's good in small doses. Don't make him the main character, or you're going to ruin the whole flavor. Like Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow.
Right.
Great as a side character.
Not your
good
anchor.
as main character.
Right.
And you get Dory as the main character, and sure, she's quirky and fun, but I was just not involved with this one as much as I was Finding Nemo.
I feel like Marlin and Nemo were stuck in those pipes for about 47 minutes in this movie. That's all I remember
Seriously.
from it.
That sounds like that. And the octopus and the baby stroller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Adorable.
Finding Dory is my choice.
I wholeheartedly approve of both of your choices. Love you guys. Next up, we're going to go outside. I want to hear your overrated outdoor activity.
Hiking.
Because we do this all the time.
know.
Hiking, you say.
Hiking.
Yeah.
May I clarify? Certain types of hiking.
Okay.
I get it if there's a waterfall or a really cool thing you're going to see, but if you're just walking up a trail to walk up a trail and then walking down a trail to walk down a trail, it's pointless. It's overrated.
But then when you get to the top and you see the view, it's kind of nice.
Sometimes. Like I remember hiking the Y, for example, down in Provo.
Oh, which is an
Worst
awful hike.
ever. It's a series of switchbacks on one side of the mountain, and you get up to the top, and it's basically the same view you got from the bottom of the trailhead.
Yeah. Did you ever go on dates?
No, I only hiked the Y once, and I went, that was pointless. I'm never doing that again.
I hiked it like once on a date, and I was sweating so badly.
It's such a terrible
And I
hike.
was on a date, and I'm like, this is bad.
But why does an incline have to be part of the experience? Is my question. I
Wait, like
a good
exercise? Is
Well,
that what
no,
you're saying?
I'm saying a good casual stroll in a forest is great. Why does hiking always have to be like this stupid steep incline?
You're holding
the
your hand
whole
straight
time,
up.
and you're like breathing so hard the whole time. By the way, the idea of taking a walk in the countryside for pleasure was developed in the 18th century. Before that, it was actually considered vagrancy if you were just wandering around.
That's a fun fact.
And now people do it as a
indicated
hobby.
poverty if you walked.
Now it's an adventure.
Yeah.
People do recommend going on hikes on dates. And honestly, I recoil and I say, we'll never be together.
Yeah.
Now, I do enjoy, like, if we go out with the family and we're going to go, like, go see a waterfall, or like, oh, yeah, there is a really good view, or something to see
So
at the
let's
end
say
of the
you went to
trail.
like Zion's or Arches. Would that be worth the hike for you?
Yeah, that's something, like, unusual you're not going to see elsewhere, or, like,
Okay.
something like that. That's what I mean. I'm talking, like, the stupid hikes where it's just, like, let's walk up a trail that's totally covered in trees and we can't see anything. Yay.
Why is my arm itchy now?
Yeah, and then there's bugs, and there's all that. There's also common illnesses that afflict long-distance hikers in the United States. You can look that up on Wikipedia. I'm not going to mention here on Baconsale.
Okay. I'm going to look it up.
Gorillas in the Mist.
What do you got?
Repelling.
Repelling.
Overrated?
It's reverse hiking.
You know, it may just be, it really is. It may just be rated. I wanted to say rock climbing because I think it's awful and people love rock climbing.
Mm-hmm.
But rappelling seems even more pointless than rock climbing because rappelling is like
Such a random show.
it's like I'm at the top of this mountain ledge and now I'm going to get down. So I have to get up to get down, and you need the help of someone else. You need a belayer.
Belay.
Yeah. On
Belay
belay,
on.
on rappel. And it seems like there's so much work. There's actually more than 25 steps to rappel safely. That does not sound fun to me at all. What can go wrong, for example? By the way, I'm worried about death. Heights is my third greatest fear.
After sharks and ketchup and eggs.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Your rappel anchors can fail. You fail to tie a stopper knot. And by the way, if that is like the biggest cause of deaths for rappelling, is the stopper knot. If you don't check that well enough.
You just go.
Yeah, your hair or t-shirt might get stuck in your rappel device. Yeah, if your belay doesn't check everything. So it doesn't seem like fun.
Have you been rappelling, Kent?
Yeah, I hate it.
Kent's repelling all the time.
I almost
Ladies.
did it once.
You almost what?
I almost did it once.
Wait, so you haven't done it? What do you
Well-
mean? What happened? What was the situation where you almost
It
rappelled?
was at Boy Scout camp.
Oh, yeah, for
and
sure.
like everyone was like, okay, we did this, we did that. They're like, okay, we're going rappelling. And I was literally off the cliff, like leaning backwards, about to do my first jump.
Right.
And I chickened out. And ever since then, I've just felt guilty
Is
about
it the gravity that kind of makes you go, nope, I don't really care for this?
It was a height thing at that point.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've done it like on the climbing walls, like when you climb up and then you have to do a little bouncy bounce down.
Right.
But not real rappelling. And so I've always felt kind of like a failure, to be honest.
And much like hiking is, once again, I'm going to bring this back to dating apps because that's what I do. A lot of people will have rappelling as one of their pictures in their profile. And I'll
'Cause it
go,
looks cool.
It looks cool, and it means adventure, and I say that in quote marks. And I'm sorry, I don't want to go on your adventures. If that's in your bio, swipe left. Especially if it's Snapchat filter while rappelling, swipe left or down.
With a bowl of ketchup in their hand.
Oh, it's a little saucy.
Speaking of what you're going to have in a bowl, I don't know, maybe. What do you got for your overrated snack food?
My overrated snack food is any cracker.
Cracker.
Oh, come on.
Chicken and a biscuit?
Yeah, chicken and biscuits is delicious. Ritz is delicious.
Okay, Ritz is good. And I shouldn't say any cracker. I do like Ritz and Wheat Thins.
Wheat Thins.
Okay? Chicken in a biscuit made me puke when I was 11 years old, and I've never gone back.
Santa Claus used to always bring us chicken and a biscuit and easy cheese.
He hates
on
you.
Christmas
I
morning.
like your Santa Claus.
No, chicken and biscuit is disgusting. When that's like my 7th grade
Bacon still
fear.
approved chicken and biscuit is
No,
delicious.
stop
100%.
it. Stop it right now.
With easy cheese.
If someone opens a box of chicken and biscuit with me, I get PTSD for
What if they have a
puke.
box of chicken and biscuit on their dating profile while repelling, dipping it into
And a
ketchup?
bowl of ketchup.
You know, that's kind of unpredictable. I think I'd go for it. But like Triscuits are no good. Cheez-Its I don't care for.
Cheez-Its are good.
My kids love crackers, and it's really because it's like garbage food that keeps them fed.
Kid, there are so few savory snacks out there.
It's
Crackers
true.
is basically all we got.
Look, chips. We've got tortilla chips, and those are great. We've got Doritos. Crackers are like, I cooked this too long.
What about the what is it called? Grildellis? Grildellis?
Oh no, those are gross.
With the rye chips?
Oh no, I
love
hate
the rye
those.
chips.
I don't know if that's plastic that you
That
can
is
eat
tier
or not.
one
It
of
is
rye
definitely
chips.
not.
Joel's right.
It is the part in
Baconsale
like,
approved rye
Yep.
chips are tier one?
it's the part in the Chex Mix or whatever that I'm like, oh, get that away from me.
Oh, that's the best part.
It is the best
We'll
part.
fight
It's
over those.
literally the best part.
Yeah.
No, not at all. So look,
Let's go get some Chex Mix.
I will eat
so hungry right
crackers in like the 3 times a year that there's a cheese ball present, which is like basically Super Bowl Sunday, 4th of July, and Thanksgiving.
Yeah, for some reason, the holidays.
Yeah, and that's
You don't
the-
like crackers and cheese?
No, look, I will eat it. Oh, you mean like regular cheese?
Yeah, like you get like smoked Gouda and put that on a Ritz.
Oh,
cracker
I
or
don't like
something
smoked
that.
Gouda.
So good.
What?
In fact, remember, I don't really like a lot of like sharp cheddars or any like weird cheeses anyways.
No, that's right. You have the
Cheese
taste of a
show.
toddler.
We're going to do
Save it for the
Without
cheese.
Listen, ketchup.
Without the ketchup, I said.
So crackers to me, I will always walk by them in the store and be like, no, thank you.
Cracker hates a cracker.
What do you got, Joel?
5 words. Snap into a Slim Jim.
Oh.
So these beef sticks made from mechanically separated chicken, lactic acid, starter culture, dextrose, salt, sodium nitrate, and hydrolyzed soy.
Oh, yeah.
It's like this weird, I want to say, bag of shredded beef jerky, but it's not the good kind of shredded jerky. It's like
Let me
the
pause.
the
Let me
stuff you
pause.
find at the bottom of the jerky
So
factory.
You're on a road trip. Is beef jerky ever an option for you?
Beef jerky, yes.
Okay. So beef
This-
stick, never.
Beef stick is like...
They're dog treats.
No, it's basically the white trash cousin of beef jerky.
It's the ketchup of beef jerky.
And yet, revenues of $575 million in 2015, and about $500 million are produced annually, and they have 21 different varieties of Slim Jims.
Do you think they ever go bad?
No.
Well, they were invented in 1929 in Philadelphia by Adolf Levi's, and they haven't made any new ones since. So he sold the company to General Mills, and General Mills has been doing it since then. And as you know, as I mentioned, snap it to a Slim Jim, the catchphrase of Macho Man Randy Savage.
Right.
Other spokespeople include Vanilla Ice, The Ultimate Warrior, Bam Bam Bigelow, Kevin Nash, and Edge.
Kevin.
So wrestlers, basically,
Yeah.
that are on steroids and their diet's already a little irregular.
They were trying to get a comedian. I can't remember who right now, but they're
Probably
trying
Carrot Top because he's on
to.
steroids as well.
It was Sam Kinison. They were trying to get this comedian to do it, and he said no. And they're like, "What about wrestlers?" And so then I do wrestlers to do it. But by the way, the factory they had in a city called Garner had a huge fire and all that, and they had issues, but they built it back up.
So they're flammable. Is that what you're
and
saying?
then they moved operations to another factory, but then they ended up closing up the factory on May 20th, 2011, the same day that Macho Man Randy Savage died.
What?
He died the day they closed the Slim Jim factory.
Slim Jim
was
killed
that on
Macho
purpose?
Man?
What? I don't know.
I mean, did they close it in like respect of Macho
I
Man?
don't think so. I think just, it was weird cosmic coincidence.
Save it for the conspiracy show part 2.
But Slim Jims, they're horrible.
They're horrible.
They're absolutely horrible.
Terrible.
Like I said, there's so few savory snacks out there. And every time I see one of those beef sticks,
Beef
Slim
sticks
Jims,
sitting in the oil in the packaging.
maybe with some ketchup would be better.
Let's move back to movies, gentlemen, and I'd like to hear your overrated highest grossing movie. Now, I have to ask, how did you do it? Did you go for the highest grossing overall, or did you pick like a highest grossing movie
Probably
of
in
a
top
certain
10,
year?
right?
I looked at the highest grossing movies of all time.
Would you like me to read them to you?
The top 10? Sure.
Yes. Number 10 is Frozen 2, somehow cracked the top 10.
Wow.
Furious 7, The Avengers, The Lion King, Jurassic World, Avengers Infinity War, Star Wars, The Force Awakens, Titanic, Avatar, and Avengers Endgame.
All
And here
very
we are.
recent.
And here we are, like, we're picking from those 10. So not a lot. There's a little slim window here.
Right.
But I actually went with one that surprised me that it was on there. Not Frozen 2. I chose the 2019 live-action adaptation of The Lion King.
So sad.
It is officially, by the way, the highest-grossing animated movie of all time, even though it's a live-action remake. They basically put an Instagram filter on the original animated movie. It's like, well, let's put the live-action filter on. Ooh, seventh highest-grossing movie of all time with $1.6 billion.
And you hate filters.
I do. It's by the way, the 1994 animated version is about to get bumped out of the top 50. It's in 49th place, just above the 2016 Jungle Book adaptation.
Oh, wow.
And it is a travesty. It's a travesty. And with the Lion King with a budget of $260 million is one of the most expensive films made, but they definitely made their money back. The critics, by the way, 53% on Rotten Tomatoes. This is rotten on Rotten Tomatoes
because it's not good.
But the audience gave it 88%. And that's why it got into the top 10 highest grossing movies of all time. A lukewarm remake.
Do you feel like the audience was eating Slim Jims, dipping it in ketchup?
That's the audience. That's what they were doing. Yeah. Kent, go ahead, say it.
Say the same thing.
Number one movie of all time, based on 8 re-releases. It's Avengers Endgame is the most overrated, highest box office.
I knew he was going to say it, and so I should be shocked. But I'm not.
I knew it.
And I've beat up on this movie enough. This is FOMO the movie.
Yeah.
Or as I like to call it, FOME.
I feel like this was the culmination of years and years.
People needed to see this because they've watched all these other movies. This was a victory lap for them. This was the love letter dedicated to the fans that have supported them now for a decade.
Which is why it deserves to be the number one. Not Avatar.
Avatar is a weird anomaly, but it's not overrated. People only hate
it's forgotten
on
about.
And I feel
it actually might be underrated at this point.
It's so low.
Yeah.
Actually, is that so weird? Because then the sequel that comes out in 2 years,
I'm actually excited for it.
Will you? Okay,
yeah,
I was wondering, will you guys?
Unless
be excited?
there's some cool new technology to go with it, no. Because it's the only reason I went to go see the original.
Because everyone's like the 3D is amazing,
and the 3D was amazing.
Do you think 3D makes a comeback? Because it's been gone for a while.
I don't know.
3D's overrated. What were you saying?
Yeah, no, I agree. Although it was cool and interesting to see, but not worth being for that long the number one movie. So brand loyalty does not make a bad movie good. Like one emotional moment does not make a bad movie good. And that's what this movie is, a series of moments and plot holes. And I feel like the characters have just become like blasé. And then even the ones they bring back in the end, you're like, where have you been?
I disagree.
I
just watched the comeback scene the other day and I got emotional.
Yeah, the one with like terrible geography. There's really no stakes to it. Any fighter could have been there, and
that's what I want in my
really
superhero
matter.
movies is geography. Dang it!
The pandering scene.
I want geography. Dang it!
Let's talk about it. Like Helm's Deep.
Tell me where Lithuania is, Kent.
Helm's not geography of the planet, but like geography of where these people are, why it matters.
Yeah.
Helm's Deep is a great final climactic scene,
best ever,
because you know what's
in Lord
happening
of the Rings,
in Two Towers. And this movie is just like, it's a lot of bright colors and a lot of cool heroes and a lot of cool moments, unless you're Captain Marvel. And but none of it matters.
Infinity War does the culmination better than Endgame.
In fact, I think I
disagree.
I've smiled on Infinity War more than this movie over time.
I see them as one movie, essentially, one long movie.
I could see that.
See, and that makes sense. But I feel like Endgame is just like, hey, we got nothing, and Thanos isn't really the same villain he was, the first great villain he was in Infinity War. It's literally a phase 1 baddie that no one really cares about at this point. But let's just end the movie. And then all this stuff it did at the end where it really ruined timelines.
I'm just going to put a blanket disagree over everything you're saying so I don't have to keep interrupting you.
The final fight is just a game of hot potato. Like, there's really not enough there.
See my previous statement.
Joel is great, and he's good looking too.
About the movie, I clarified.
Dang it. Anyways, obviously that was going to be my answer.
Yep.
Did not deserve it. They seriously re-released this movie like 8 times with an unfinished Hulk scene just to become number one because they need their ego built that much.
They worked for it.
They did not work for it.
2008 to 2019.
No, man, it's a victory lap. That's all it was.
Okay, speaking of
Not a
victory,
good movie.
Speaking of victory laps, we need to change the pace here. Let's go with your overrated Olympic sport. You guys, the sports experts, please tell me what Olympic sport is overrated.
I was thinking about it, and Olympians really should be like, for example, we're not having the Olympics this year,
No.
and it's pretty sad because it's only every 4 years, whether it's winter or summer. And it's sad to see because these people have worked their whole young lives to get to this point.
Yeah.
It was hard to think of one where I'm like, yeah, I don't care for that one.
Well, it's hard to say it's overrated when these people are like could beat you up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or outrun you in a race or anything like that.
They're better than we could dream.
Yeah.
Bobsledding.
What?
Did you see
Bobsledding.
Cool Runnings? It was amazing.
And I don't think anyone cared about bobsledding until Cool Runnings came out. And then Jamaica had a bobsled team.
Jamaica has a bobsled team.
And that movie was so cool in 1991 or 2.
92.
In 92, thank you.
Have you guys watched it recently? It's a little weird now.
I'm sure it's weird. But bobsledding as a sport, honestly, the tracks are awesome. But watching it on TV, they only show you like certain parts of the track. And all you're seeing are like 4 anonymous helmets bobbling back and forth. The similar looking bobsled, no matter what country it is, going down this track, and it's like milliseconds difference. And I just don't think it's all that exciting. In fact,
You feel like it was exciting if you were in it, but just not watching it.
The stats on this one, like there's so little variation. So obviously the lowest cumulative time of 4 rounds wins. And so these countries go, and if a team is ahead after the 3rd run, they've always won 100% of the time. So if someone is ahead in the 3rd run, they will always win. So there's really no
So it's
like
predictable.
Yeah, there's no like final seconds like, oh, this team's going to pull ahead. Even if the team is ahead after 2 runs, they win 85% of the time. It is actually the most predictable Olympic sport you can get. And a lot of people say there should just be 1 round because then there's variation.
Okay.
But that's it.
One bad round, though? One shot?
Yeah. 1 shot, 1 opportunity.
Wow.
Mom spaghetti.
Lose yourself.
By the way, Cool Runnings, 1993.
Oh, okay.
I'm just
We were
saying.
all wrong.
Yeah.
I didn't make a guess.
What do you got, Joel?
I know this is going to be controversial.
Give it to me.
Do
What
not
you
say
got?
gymnastics.
No, I'm not going to
Okay.
say gymnastics. I'm saying figure skating.
Ah, yes.
That is the
I
gymnastics
agree.
of Winter Olympics.
That's
They're
just
basically
it.
the same.
So here's the thing. It is I see gymnastics and I'm always like wowed by what happens. But I watch figure skating, which is the face of Winter Olympics. When you see Winter Olympics, like on the box of the Nintendo game or
Not
in the
curling?
promotions,
Right.
not doing curling. I
love
They're
curling.
doing figure skating. And I watch one and I'm like, wow, that was pretty impressive. I watched the second one and I'm like, that was the same amount of impressive. Watch the third one. Yep, still the same basic thing. It's pretty cool. And there are moments when it's like, I remember one time my sister freaked out because they did some sort of
It's a quadruple Lutz,
Quadruple
obviously.
sow cow. Hello.
But then you'll hear the announcers be like, oh, she dipped her toe a little too low in the midst of that triple twist backflip. I mark her down for that, wouldn't you, Gerald? Yes, I would. I would mark her down for that as well. And so, like, unless you're like an expert on the matter, it all starts to blend together. And this is when I will watch. And a lot of times, like, oh, I love the music. And oh, that's pretty cool.
Seriously. I get to the point where I'm like, ooh, I like this song.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what a lot of
Tchaikovsky
it was for.
again. Great.
Now, this has been around since 1908 when it was in the Summer Olympics. And then 1924, they moved it to the Winter Olympics.
So you're not saying that they're not great athletes because what they can pull off is amazing.
outstanding.
I'm just saying it's one of those overrated sports where everyone seems to watch that, and I think everyone falls asleep while watching it. By the way, the U.S. holds the most medals in this category by far, 51 medals. The next closest is Russia with 26.
Whoa.
So
Joel, how do you feel when they fall?
bad.
Okay, good.
Really bad. Like
Kent,
I know
I
they've
feel
worked,
bad too. I swear.
Okay.
They've worked their whole life for this, and then that one
Yeah.
moment they fall and they practiced it 1,000 times. I feel sick to my stomach.
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think figure skating a little overrated.
I agree with you, Joel. Good choice. All right. I want to hear your overrated 2000s comedy.
Joel, you go first.
I get whiplash on these categories, how it keeps just flipping
Back
from
and
one to
forth.
the other. My most overrated 2000s comedy is one that spawned not one, but two sequels.
This is mine.
And we've often said,
This is mine as well.
we've often said that comedy should not get sequels because the jokes get stale. It's The Hangover.
The Hangover.
It's the
Do
Hangover.
we all pick The Hangover?
I completely agree.
2009.
Three buddies wake up from a bachelor party in Las Vegas with no memory of the previous night and the bachelor missing. Wackiness ensues.
This is one of the highest grossing R-rated movies. And The Hangover 2 made even more money.
Yeah. Starring Bradley Cooper, Ed Helms, Zach Galifianakis, Heather Graham, Justin Bartha, Ken Jeong, and Jeffrey Tambor.
Oh, and Mike Tyson.
And Mike Tyson and a tiger.
Celebrity cameos. That's
By the way,
awesome.
apparently Lindsay Lohan was asked to do a role in the film, the role of Jade. As she said, she turned it down though, saying, "quote It had no potential. The script had no potential."
her career had no potential. So I feel like this only hit the zeitgeist because this movie was huge. The hype was
Enormous.
crazy for this movie.
Yeah.
I feel like it only hit it big because it like struck a chord with young people that were like, yeah, I party in Vegas all the time. I'm awesome like that. Those are my parties.
This
like,
actually
okay.
did. Well, they actually did. Like once this movie came out, there was an influx of bachelor parties towards Las Vegas, and people would quote lines from the movie, being like, "Is Caesar here today at the Caesar's Palace or something like
Right.
that?"
So this actually won the Golden Globe for Best Comedy the year it came out. Not good.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Wow.
Here's the thing. I thought it was entertaining, but it wasn't as funny as everyone made it out to be. I saw this well after well after the movie had come out.
Yeah.
Because I was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. Some parts were choppy.
For sure.
Some parts were anything with Ken Jeong for some reason, just very choppy to the part because he doesn't make it.
How do you guys feel about Zach Galifianakis? Because I feel like this movie lives or dies on that.
I think the whole like him turning into the blackjack counting guy, I think that's kind of funny.
Yes.
But overall, he's just annoying.
I feel like he suffers from Melissa McCarthy syndrome.
Yeah.
Where, look, he played a role, he played it well, but he's got to stop playing it in every movie.
Yeah.
Right.
And that kind of idiot role that he plays was funny, but
Yeah.
it's since grown tired.
So we can all agree this is the most overrated comedy of the 2000s.
Yeah.
I saw it a little bit later, only a couple months later, and so there was already so much hype, and I was like, "Why? Why? You just want to do this? That's
right.
the only reason people like it."
I feel like this was a game of top that, where like every time
top
they're like,
that.
"What else?
Top that.
What else can we do crazy? Oh, well, what if next time something even weirder happened?" And so they keep going with that. By the way, just jumping back to last show for a second, if I may, there is a board game of Clue of The Hangover. In 2018, Hasbro issued a Clue with Hangover theme.
Definitely not playing it.
No.
Tier 3.
Pass. Finally, gentlemen, I want to hear your overrated movie director.
Now, I think mine is kind of a cheat because I
worried.
don't think he is overrated anymore. I feel like what he's done to his own career based on the movies he's chosen, which are huge projects, he's really ruined what people say about him.
Okay.
It's J.J. Abrams.
Whoa.
Okay.
Because whenever he's like announced, whether he's a producer, writer, or director, it's always big news. Like, for example, he has this new deal with Warner Brothers. It's a $250 million deal, and everyone's like, I want J.J. Abrams to direct the next Superman movie. And he's done franchises. He did Mission Impossible 3, Star Trek, obviously, and Star Trek Into Darkness. A couple movies called Star Wars Episode 7 and 9.
7 and 7 Part 2.
Exactly. But not the
Was
other
there an
7
eighth
Part 2. Was there a ninth one? Was there? Yeah. So here's the thing. Mission Impossible 3, he did a great job. He did Super 8, which was really kind of like, hey, Spielberg, he's like a little puppy. Like, I really love you, and I want to put all your movies into one. And he did a very decent job. Like,
Yeah.
Super 8's enjoyable.
It's fun.
It's like Stranger Things before there was a Stranger Things.
Yes.
And so he's got some successes. He did the first 2 episodes, the pilot of Lost. He's done the pilot of Alias. So he knows how to create projects. But
Star Trek?
But then he kind of just borrows everyone else's ideas. Like, he's not a bad director. I think what he's done is he has a cool school of buddies that are better directors than him. And I
Right.
think that's the biggest thing he's given to the film community.
Yeah, we're not saying, like we said, overrated. Isn't
So
bad.
he's not bad, but he just doesn't deserve the kind of praise or the kind of work he gets. And truthfully, if he does some DC movies, like, they're doing whatever they're doing now, but I don't think it's going to be great. In fact, he wrote a Superman script 15 years
time ago.
and it's terrible.
Awful.
It's actually terrible. So I'm worried about what's going to happen. I actually call him a remora fish. And remora fish are the ones that they stick to sharks. So remora fish, let me tell you about them real quick.
Save it for the Remora Fish show.
They have organs on the top of their heads that attach to a passing shark. They eat scraps of prey dropped by the shark. The shark is happy because the remora fish take care of the parasites. And they have free transportation throughout the oceans. Sharks will even slow down to allow the remora to get a free ride. And I feel like that is what he's done for these better directors of our childhood. And it's cool that he's a film fan. It's very cool. Like, some of my favorite directors are film fans. But he just takes it to a level where he doesn't really have his own style other than the things we kind of make fun of now, whether it's the lens flare or literally copying and pasting story ideas. So J.J. Abrams.
Makes sense.
It's a good choice.
Joel, I'm really worried about what you're going to say. Really concerned. I'm sorry about ketchup.
You talking to me?
Oh.
You talking to me?
Uh-oh.
You better
one
not.
here.
Don't
You
say
better
it.
not.
Martin Scorsese is overrated.
Oh, okay.
So I knew this was going to get under Kent's skin, but I looked at Scorsese's body of work.
Possibly top 3 greatest directors of all time.
Overrated top 3.
Ooh.
Greatest directors of all time. That's the thing. The people keep putting him up there. It's like, oh, Scorsese.
Yeah, he deserves
He
it.
is amazing.
He is.
And I'm like, is he though?
Yes.
When you hit the same key on a piano 9, 10, 11, 12 times, is that good?
Oh, really?
Gangster, 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 gangster. What are my movies about? Gangster, gangster.
Financial criminal.
Yeah. So Martin Scorsese, he's directed a total of 25 full-length films and 14 documentary films. yet only one Academy Award for Best Director? I think the Academy's agreeing with me here, Kent. I think he's
okay, hold
overrated.
on. Are you resting on that laurel? Because that's a dangerous
I've got
place
other
to
laurels
be.
too. In fact, out of his 25 movies, I can name 3 that I really like.
What are the 3?
The Departed,
Okay,
Shutter Island,
right.
Cape Fear.
Are 2 of those gangster movies? No.
None of them are gangster movies. But then you look at his ones that always get the praise, like Goodfellas, Gangs of New York, Casino. I'm looking at The Irishman. Even King of Comedy and Raging Bull and Taxi Driver have kind of those elements, gritty, dark
All
crime
great
elements to
films.
it.
All great.
Some mostly good. He's not a bad filmmaker. I'm not saying he's a bad
Okay,
filmmaker.
okay.
I'm saying he's overrated because people have put him in this pantheon of greatest of all time. And
Top
I'm
3.
like, look, he's got a style. Like his lens flare is gangsters.
Well played,
That's
sir.
what he does. And so I look through these, and even The Departed was an adaptation of a Hong Kong police drama called Internal Affairs. That his only Oscar win was for The Departed.
That was like his Susan Lucci Award, though. Like everyone's like, how is he not won yet?
Yes, and when he made The Irishman, that's the one. It was kind of the kind of
Swan song.
It's a swan song. It's like,
Right.
oh look, here's all the culmination. It's the aging gangster now.
Right.
So it's a minor key of the same key. But it's like, okay, I've moved up here to the aging gangster, and it's good. It's well done. He knows how to tell a story, but I feel like he has been put on this pedestal, and he doesn't overly deserve to be there.
Oh, 100%.
And he quotes himself as he's a fan of filmmakers like Michelangelo Antonioni and Fellini and like Bergman, like these artistic. And when I was doing film classes, we'd watch the films of Antonioni and Fellini and all those films. And I would be like, look, I think they're just overrated, a lot of these people. Because he is, Kent, for a fact that he does not own a single movie that is not in the Criterion Collection. He won't buy it unless it's in the Criterion Collection.
Good.
He's the person who sits in the corner of the room and has been like, the lighting in this room reminds me of a Fellini film I saw back
Are you
in
just mad that he
1925.
called Marvel movies roller coaster rides?
He called them amusement parks, and I think that everyone has they're fine. They're fine to say, but
accurate.
like he's one of those that's like, it's cinema. It's not film. It's cinema.
Right, and he's
It's
right.
a higher art.
Yes.
No, he's not.
He's
not.
right.
He's not. And I think that his movies are overrated because I feel like they're good. They're well done. But people were talking about Goodfellas. It's like, oh, Goodfellas is great. Goodfellas is amazing. Goodfellas is the
amazing.
best movie of all time. I watched it and I went, it's good. It's not Godfather. It's good. I liked it.
Oh, no, it might be better.
Goodfellas? More than
Yeah.
Godfather and Godfather
Based
Part
on
2?
Joe Pesci's performance alone, it might be better.
I prefer Joe Pesci in Home Alone.
Oh, jeez.
So yes. And
Look, I get it because there is so much praise around this guy that
Yeah.
clearly it has to be a little bit of overrated.
and that's why I don't get why you defend him so much, because he is so universally loved by film people and film lovers.
Yes.
That it almost feels like you'd kind of kick against that and be like, whoa.
It's true, but the education is necessary. If you're going to be a film buff, you need to watch half of his filmography.
I think that Martin Scorsese is like Quentin Tarantino's grandpa. Like he's the older version
He
of Quentin
actually
Tarantino.
might be.
He's like, and so it's like where Quentin Tarantino's doing the fun, hip,
Right.
70s type music. You get Martin Scorsese, he also has like that cool kind of like crime vibe with cool music in it as well.
Right.
But it's just more snobbish. And its snobbishness turns me off to it a little bit.
I'm surprised you guys didn't say Tarantino.
I almost did.
I figured that would be
But
Joel.
I thought Martin
I
Scorsese
never
would
would.
take off Kent
No,
more.
and Kent
Most of
wouldn't,
his
but Joel
movies
would.
are great.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Including, and then Martin Scorsese once again, Hugo. Remember he did that? He did
I
Hugo.
actually like Hugo.
I do too, but remember he made that? It's kind of
You-
funny to think about that.
You said it was a gangster. Yeah.
King of Comedy is one that I watched. It's
I still need to watch that one.
yeah, so that one is Robert De Niro doing. It's Martin Scorsese doing a kind of a weird comedy,
Right.
With Robert De Niro playing his character, very much like the Joker. Actually, people called that a lot.
Yeah.
Say.
and it was bizarre. Like it wasn't one of my favorites. But and The Aviator, starring Kate Beckinsale.
Did you like that movie?
I never finished it. I got bored halfway through and
Little
fell
dry.
asleep, and then at the end I went, I don't care to finish it, so I never did. It's one of the few times I've ever finished a movie. So
Yeah. I just remember Leonardo DiCaprio getting really long fingernails and grossing me out. We all know how I feel about fingernails and toenails.
yeah, they're right up there with ketchup and eggs and
Ugh.
heights and sharks.
That's my 19th greatest fear.
Wow.
there you go.
Well, congratulations, gentlemen. You have thrown out a lot of controversial opinions, and you're going to make a lot of people mad, but you have an overrated show.
We do. It still has been overrated, and we hope that you are playing along at home. Let us know in each one of these categories what you pick, and then we can argue with you online on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram.
And before we go, I'd like to give all of the thanks to the patrons, starting with the I Am the Listener category. We have A More Civilized Podcast wishes Jacob and his lovely wife all the best.
Aw.
Sean Sandquist, Jennifer Kielkowski, Colton Cook, Chris Strout, Braden Winterton, Crew Dutler, Terry Finley, Stephen Ross, and Adrian Gray.
Thank you.
And then, of course, we have our Bacon Council, Nicole D. Hale, Chris Anderson, Ryan Farron, Mats, and, of course, Reverse Listener.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
We really do appreciate it. But if you want to find me, you can find me at 76Joel on Twitter. You can find me performing with Quick Wits. They're performing virtually every Saturday night at 9 o'clock. For more details, go to qwcomedy.com or go to the Quick Wits Facebook page.
If you want to find me on Twitter and Instagram, it's at Kenny3DD. If you want to read my movie reviews, it's at ShowtimeShowdown.com.
You can find me on social media at Tumbling Mustard on Twitter and Instagram. And, of course, you can follow Baconsale on social media, Twitter and Instagram, and, of course, Facebook at Baconsale. I'd also encourage you to go to tpublic.com/Baconsale. Get yourself a So Fresh shirt.
Alexa, buy a So Fresh shirt.
And also you can go to patreon.com/Baconsale if you'd like to support the show and what the guys are doing here. You can start with support that just starts at $3 a month and get a bonus Bacon bit. Today we talked about everything.
Yeah.
Kind of a lot.
Yeah, we actually had some entertainment news this time.
Yeah. So if you wanted to check that out, again, patreon.com/Baconsale. All sorts of different fun prizes and all sorts of things happening over there on the Patreon. I've been a member since the very beginning. For the record, I'm the very first patron.
What?
And it has been a wonderful experience. So thanks, guys. But just remember, both ketchup and eggs are overrated. But for Kent's sake, please don't throw them into a pool together. Save that for Joel.
It's like the nice family way of tearing each other apart.
Gonna make a bacon, take a bacon like a stick, and I can shake it like vanilla. It's the finest of the flavors.
Can I help it if it's thinking funny when you're mad?
Try not to smile, though I know, man.
I'm the kind of guy who laughs at a funeral.
Can't understand what I mean.
Good harmony.
You look like everyone else with the butt cut back in the 90s. If that's in your bio, swipe left. Especially if it's Snapchat filter wall repelling, swipe left or down.
With a bowl of ketchup in their hand.
Apparently I'm mayonnaise, which is disgusting.
The cracker hates a cracker.
We're like,
Ice cream.
ice cream.
Ice cream.
Nope. Now I feel bad because Zach's going to tear me apart.
I thought I did fine.
You did fine.
Yes, you did.
No.
You need a
We're not a
fourth
barber
person.
shop.
You need a fourth person. Aw.
We can't let him out of the cave.
Let me out.
It is the landfill of the breakfast kingdom.
Come for the toppings, stay for the undercooked eggs.
I just didn't know they had donuts. I thought they just had Wranglers.
The truth comes out. Oh, I look like a dog now. This is silly. Blah, 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 blah.
And really, Rugrats is just a story of negligence.
Do you own SpongeBob boxers?
Several. Who looks more like they have a goldfish in their mouth? Mark Ruffalo or Tom Holland?
When I didn't know what other condiments were, ketchup was my favorite too.
There's room in my heart for all these
But
condiments.
what, if someone opens a box of chicken and biscuit with me, I get PTSD.
What if they have a box of chicken and biscuit on their dating profile while repelling, dipping it into
And a bowl of
ketchup?
ketchup.
You know, that's kind of unpredictable. I think I'd go for it.
Oh, she dipped her toe a little too low in the midst of that triple twist backflip. I'd mark her down for that, wouldn't you, Gerald? Yes, I would. I would mark her down for that as well. Oh, The Witcher. You need to watch The Witcher. The Witcher is amazing. Oh, The Witcher. Oh, the beats in The Witcher. And so, hold on. I've got a complicated map that explains the timeline of The Witcher. Read this before you watch The Witcher, and you will understand The Witcher, the magic of The Witcher. Ooh, wait until you see the creature in episode 3. It is the most fantastic creature you've ever seen.